Hello guys, once again it's Matt, and today we have another video. So yeah, let's thank our members first. Overlanding 11B, Acots for being the two full crew members that we have. Foxpaw members, Fishpaw members, thank you all. To subscribe, join our Discord, and be a member if you want to help a little bit of the channel. So let's fly the MiG-23MLD. It's been a while. Yeah, it's been a while. My favorite aircraft in the game. I don't care about the Mirage 2000, I don't care about the F-14, I don't care about anything. I just want my MiG, and I cannot wait to see something like the MiG-29 in game. And I know a lot of people will fly better the F-14, or, you know, it depends, because it depends very much, especially on the pilot. It's like Maverick said, right? It depends a lot on the pilot and less on the aircraft to a certain extent, but the aircraft obviously helps a lot. But I always think that you need to fly something that you enjoy flying, and the MiG is just my favorite aircraft. The R-24R is just amazing. It even got better right now. The AOA is still a little bit worse, like 2 degrees worse. That it's a marginal thing, but still, than the AIM-7F. But it has a very good seeker, a way better seeker than the AIM-7F, and in the sense of ECCM, you know. So it is an aircraft that is very dangerous. It has its problems, obviously. It has the radar that obviously is not the best. I mean, it has a limited range compared to some stuff that are coming to War Thunder, like the Mirage and the F-14. But I take MLD over any aircraft in the game, to be honest. Not because it is, I mean, it's an amazing aircraft, but not because it is the best of the best, but it is just an aircraft that I learned how to deal with it, you know. I mean, I have a lot of kills in MiG-23s and a lot of time in them. They are my favorite aircraft for a very long time. So even the M and the MF and the MLA, every single one of them. But it is just a thing of, obviously we are getting into more advanced stuff, and with that, obviously, we need a counter in the not now maybe, but in the future, to deal with more the 4th generation stuff. But for now, the MLD can hold its ground. I still think that it should get the R60M together with other aircraft that should get a lot of stuff as well. But it is an aircraft that is just amazing. I just love it so much. And with this amazing Afghanistan skin is, yeah. And a lot of the times you face battles like these. I wanted to talk a little bit about the R-24R because it got buffed, you know, and a bit about the MiG-23. But before that, let's just check this Maverick style kill that I did. So yeah, 2 F-14s coming up, and then I use the ground, and then I use the enemy missile, obviously, to kill the enemy, because that's a tactic that you think about doing and you practice for it, right? Obviously not, but that was one of the best things that ever happened to me in War Thunder. One of the coolest things. I mean, it was just such a cool kill. I mean, come on, I used the missile. It was by mistake, obviously, but I used the missile of the enemy to kill the other F-14. That was amazing. And then he broke a little bit of its wing, and I was just trying to get a couple of shots in, just trying to snipe, but he was wiggling around. And I didn't want to actually just use all of my ammo in this guy that I knew that he was, if you force him a little bit, he would just crash. So I just decided to, I mean, where does the, I mean, yeah. But I knew that if I forced him, he would enter in a flat spin like that. So yeah, another kill. So technically 2 kills there, 3 kills there, 3 F-14s down. So yeah, pretty amazing. So we already have a lot of kills, but I can count 2 more to that count just because of that, you know. So yeah, very cool battle. And that's the thing, man. The MiG-23 is the only aircraft that I can feel this comfortable on doing stuff like that. Obviously that was kind of a luck thing, but it's the one aircraft that I actually feel comfortable to actually be in a 1v4, 1v5 and actually win, you know. It's an aircraft that makes me very, like I said, kind of comfortable to fly, you know. So yeah, that was a poor shot with the R60. I had to return to battle to the base because there were 3 guys landing, and if I lose time here, I would have, I mean, I would die. So yeah, I got a little bit closer to the F4J, and that was kind of a BS. If you see the missile, he climbed and then he just turned away, even though there were not any flares there. So I think he just lost the track. And yeah, MLA came to me, and I was like really mad at this guy because come on, I needed to get back to base, right? And MLA was behind me, and I knew I had to kill him because if I tried to run, he would follow me to the base, and that was a dangerous thing. So I just decided to stay around a little bit. I mean, I had just a tiny bit of ammo, so yeah, I just decided to go vertical. Obviously, the MLD turns a little bit better than the MLA. It's a little bit more modern. And I was talking with some friends also, because we can actually feel the difference in the radar. The MLA radar in real life has less capabilities in ECCM or countermeasures, you know. So yeah, you can feel a little bit of that in the game. But yeah, critical hit there, but he was still alive. I had 15 bullets and the last guy, so I had to make sure that he was going to die. So yeah, good kill. And let's go back to base. Now I don't have fuel, I don't have ammo, so I really need to get back to base. But unfortunately, the match ended. That F4 FGR, Phantom FGR, killed one of the Mirages there, or the F4 I think. But then the Mirages just killed a bunch of tanks before I got to battle, so I just decided to cut it out because it was just, you know, didn't matter that much. But yeah, it was just such an amazing match, that one, and I would have won. I mean, that's the thing, man. I was against 2 Mirages, and I was still like, I had like 6 kills or 8 kills. I don't know how many kills I got that match, but I was so like comfortable to actually go into the battle aggressively, and I knew that I would have killed them, or at least I would have died, but really trying, you know. So yeah, and this is the one aircraft that gives me that comfort of doing that type of thing, you know. You can do kills like this one in BVR that the guy doesn't even know. The R-24 has an amazing acceleration, so it has a pretty alright range of 25 kilometers of effective range. I mean, it has a little bit more range, but the effective is around that. And because of the plume of smoke, that it's very short and very fast, and very powerful, to be honest, it makes the aircraft just lose. I mean, he just doesn't know that the missile is going for you. So yeah, together with the INS, and yeah, basically I wanted to talk a little bit on this video, a little bit more on the R-24, especially the radar version. Right now there's not much reason to use the R-24T. I know a lot of people enjoy flying that, but one little tiny mistake of some guy using a flare for some reason, and that was a poor shot because, I mean, you would have gotten, but the MiG-23 got it first. But still, it is a missile that, I mean, I know a lot of people enjoy flying with the R-24T, and I really loved it. It's an amazing missile. But I really don't like anymore to do sneak attacks, because that's the thing, man. If you are flying in the Soviet Union for a long time, you would notice that obviously the Soviets were one of the last nations, not the last nation, no, I'm being unreasonable here, but it was one of the nations that never got initially a BVR missile, a BVR aircraft, because we never got the Su-9, we never got the Su-15. We never got the initial MiG-25P. So with that, we never got the contemporary aircraft from the time of the F-4C, the F-4E, aircraft like that, you know. And even before that, I mean, by the time the F-3H was in service, the Russians, of course, had similar missiles to the AIM-7C as well. So, yeah, we never got those missiles, right? We got the R-3R eventually, but we don't even have the R-55 yet. We don't have the K-8, the R-98, the R-40. We don't have these missiles, these aircraft that use them. So it is kind of, it's alright, I guess, because Mikoyan do a lot of good things. And we never got BVR. back in the day, you know, before the MiG-23. MiG-23M was the first aircraft with proper BVR, you know. So yeah, before that, a lot of pilots were just used to um, doing stuff like sneak attacks. You know, it was a common thing among MiG-21 pilots and stuff like that. And I used to do them a lot, you know, especially when the R-13M1 came and the R-60 and stuff like that with the SMT and stuff like that. So it was a very effective tactic because Americans were just going upwards. They were climbing with the Air Force, and which is fine, right? I would supposed to do that, but it was a very good and very effective tactic for flying low and getting people by surprise from below. And yeah, there was a thing like for a very long time between the first MiG-21 coming up and the F-13 and the MiG-23M coming up in the game. So when we got the MiG-23, the M version, obviously the first one, that kind of got like boring real fast for me flying low, you know. I had to just climb and face those BVR engagements with the Air Force. Back in the day, the Sparrows were completely weird. The R-23 was a very bad missile, and now it's not even comparable what we have now with the R-24, with the AIM-7F, with the Super 530, with the Raiders that we have right now. We didn't have pull stopper, we didn't have anything. But from that time onwards, I mean, we had pull stopper, but still, the missiles were kind of bad and stuff like that. From that onwards, yeah, I just decided to always climb, and it was kind of a personal thing. I really enjoy facing the superior Americans flying high, because most of the pilots flew the MiG-23 flying low, which made the MiG-23 a little bit worse than it was supposed to be honest. A lot of people complained about the initial MiG-23 until we got the R-60M, and with the buffs with the R-23 and stuff like that. It was really bad, the R-23 at first. But still, it was a thing that a lot of pilots still they were still doing with the MiG-23, the same tactic of flying low and stuff like that. And with that tactic, you can use the R-23, you can use the R-24 or anything like that, the T variants or any heat-seeking missile, and it will work very, very good, because the guy won't look at down, and especially against aircraft like the F-14 that produces a lot of heat. Even the F-4 produces a lot of heat. And a missile like the R-24T, for example, or the R-23T, they are very effective at that. So they have a very long range and stuff. So it was very effective. And I know a lot of people will fly with the MiG-29 or a MiG-25 if it comes and stuff like that, with the IR missiles flying low and shooting upwards. You know, a lot of people do that. But it is just not my thing. You know, I knew I had to do this. And now that we are finally getting actual good radar missiles, and the missiles are being buffed and stuff like that, a lot of people still have the same mentality, but things are changing, you know. I see a lot of people climbing and stuff like that, because they are realizing that this is the future of War Thunder, having this mix between the BVR and the dogfight, which is realistic, right? It's the same as in real life. So yeah, it's a matter of getting used to the meta, and I have videos about this, especially when the F-14 came out, because then we actually had a confirmation that we are soon getting a lot of BVR and 4th gen stuff and better raiders and stuff like that. So yeah, it's a matter of just getting used to it. So if you are not used to using the R-24R, please try it. Just try it. You know, you will not regret it. It's just such a more effective missile than the R-24T. Even if you don't want to take both R-24Rs, which I still think it's the best situation. I still think it's the best tactic that you can use. But you still can use one R-24R and one T, because this is the MLD, or the MLA can do that as well. Remember, the MF and the M didn't have that in real life. But just remember, it's a matter of just getting used to it, you know. And if it's going to help you a little bit, Try it. Use 1T and 1R versions, and you will see how much it improves your game. You know, it is. It's kind of a like I already said this, but it's kind of like in the other videos, but it's kind like it's like 80% hit rates of this missile. It's such a good missile. It's amazing because it's the best of both worlds. You know, a missile like an M7F, for example, even though yeah, look, I mean that was close, but a missile like an M7F, it can be very effective at long ranges, but sometimes at closer ranges the E2 is better. You know, and the R-24 is the best of both worlds. You know, it's not. It doesn't have the range of the M7F, and I think it turns better than the obviously than the E2, but just because of its sheer acceleration, that it's amazing. But still, it can be a very effective thing to have this kind of a mix between them. It's a missile that I like to fire. Why do I carry two? Because you can carry the T and just get a kill in that way. But because a lot of flares flying around, you know, and especially with the tactic that I normally use, which is just climbing to at least 5,000 meters or 15,000 feet, and then shooting a missile from far away. Normally I get a kill there, and then because it takes a little bit of time until the missile to actually hit the target, or to miss or something like that, you're already closer to the enemy, normally close to 10 kilometers. And then I use another one because at 10 kilometers it's really hard to evade the R-24. And especially now, I mean, the amount of a buff that he got in the AOA department. I mean, all the missiles got a buff in that, you know, all the missiles, the radar ones, and all the missiles got as I said on the M7F video yesterday, they got a buff on the range for cold targets. They got a buff on the notching capabilities a little bit. So it is just a better thing, not in notching, but more in like chaff situations. It is a little bit less susceptible to chaff, these kind of missiles, you know. But it is just a thing of you know, the way that the missile just, the way that it was buffed, all these little things made the R-24 even better than it was before, obviously, but with the AOA being the most amazing buff of all, you know. So, for example, we had the buff for a lot of missiles. I mean, all of the missiles got a buff, as I said, but some of them were a higher buff, like a bigger buff, and some of them were a smaller buff. As you saw on the video that I did, I actually did a video on this, showing around when it was data mined. But for example, the maximum fin AOA that the R-24 had before, it was 10.8 degrees, so 11 degrees, right? And now it's 25 degrees. This is like a 2.5 increase. That's amazing. And even the R-23 got a 2.0 increase from 10.0 to 19.8. So the R-23 and the R-24 before, they had the same amount of fin AOA that they can pull. You know, this is completely nonsense, right? And I mean, and if you compare it to the M7F, it got a buff from 14.4, this is the F variant, to 27 degrees. So it's still a little bit higher, but it's just, I mean, kind of close to 2 times, not even 2 times. So that's the thing. The R-24 got the biggest buff. You know, it's still, as I said, 2 degrees less than the M7F, but it is still a very, very capable missile, together with the acceleration, which there is literally nothing that has this acceleration. The kilonewtons that this missile pull, it's such a large one. If you compare to the other ones, for example, let me check here. For example, the M7F, which is a missile that it has a lot of power, you know, it has a 27 kind of kilonewtons of force, and the R-24 has 50,000 newtons, so 50 kilonewtons. So it's almost twice as much power. Obviously, then the M7F has the booster, And with that, it only has basically a 14 meters per second of delta V of booster more than the R-24R. So they basically have the same energy. Oh no, they have a lot more actually. It's no, Jesus, I just realized it. I was looking at the wrong thing. Actually, the the AIM-7F has only 571 delta V of meters per second. Delta V is basically a measurement of how much speed of energy has to spend. Basically, they normally use these in rockets to say the total amount of delta V, for example. So the normal booster, it has only basically like 571, so it has like 200 less, almost 200 less than the R-24. But then it has the booster, the impulse booster, and with that it becomes 955. I just look at it. So, and the R-24 is 734. Basically, which means that the AIM-7F has a lot more energy in the long run. But in the short run, the R-24 has a lot more energy, together with these amazing things, together with the ECCM improvements that we got, together with everything like that, and together with a surprise attack, because remember, it's a very short booster, so it's like 3 seconds, so the target won't be seeing your missile, you know. It becomes, for me, in my opinion, I know a lot of people enjoy flying the Mirage 2000 now. The Super 530 is amazing and everything like that, but I still prefer to use the R60M. I still prefer to use the R-24 or even the normal R60. So yeah, just a matter of opinion, obviously, but it is. Get out there. I mean, I just got shot by a friendly. Look at this friendly, man. I have to point out a finger on this guy because he just shot a missile on me and he just went away and left the Mirage to finish the job. I mean, come on, man. Think a little bit. I mean, what was that, right? But yeah, guys, basically this is it. Let me know in the comments what is your favorite missile in the game, and I see you guys on the next one. So bye, guys. Subscribe. And I got a little bit mad on the chat there. Bye, guys. See you.